All right, it is Hello Again Wednesday, number 78. And just drawing up the notes that I need for the moment right there. I don't think it was that one. Yes, it is this one right here. Hello Again Wednesday, number 78. I just going to double check and see what it looks like. It is going through. I did not create a question of the day to be posted, but there will be a question of the day. I'm so glad you joined me for these few moments. I'm downstairs at the church where I pastor, and I'm just going to, because there's things that are happening. I'm glad you joined me, though. I'm glad you follow. I'm glad you are on YouTube, have subscribed and follow, ring that bell or whatever it is to know when I'm on live, or just go ahead and watch the video at any time at your convenience. I'm just glad that you're following and sharing the videos. Please share. Things are going well for me that way as you share the videos. Plus, it engages more and more people in the conversation as we always have a question of the day. There's many places you can watch this. You can watch it as you are now, Facebook Live, or on Facebook, or on our church Facebook page, Culver City Church of God Ministries. You will also see it on our web page, culvercitychurchofgod.org, or you can even see these videos on my YouTube channel, Brent Miller, What's on His Mind. And so today it's just going to be boom, 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 because it's just a lot that's happening. But I want to thank you for being my special guest. And I'll say that week after week because you guys are the ones that have the conversation with me. You guys are the one that come into quote the studio or whatever. And so thanks for being a part as my special guest. And I just ask you to keep doing that. The question of the day. Are you ready? Are you a coffee drinker or a tea drinker or neither? It's a long question. Do you cream, sugar, do it black? What's your preference of beverages? I'll do it that way. So, because I said neither. Some of you aren't going to do coffee, some aren't going to do tea, and you're going to be way all over the place on how we do things. And so, because there's cold, there's ice, or whatever. No, okay. So, thanks for that question of the day, and we'll see what happens. One of the things is because if you look at the title of this Hello Again Wednesday number 78, I call it the triple C's. Ready? Coffee Creamer Crisis. And so every once in a while in our house, it's a house, it is a huge amount of people in our house, and there's more than me that are now drinking coffee. And so I ration my coffee drinking now. But because of that, there has been times where we have actually, ran out of creamer that one morning and no one said anything. And when you get up, and trust me, I've done it to myself. I've used all my creamer up, and there's a time that'll go by where I will have forgotten to purchase the next bottle of creamer. I'm one of those where I do have some favorites. Excuse me. It started off with French vanilla. That's my old standby go to. I do love the French vanilla creamers and stuff like that. And then I've gone into areas such as, what is it, caramel macchiato? Man, uh, there's my water over there. Oh, well, caramel macchiato. And so that's another one. I've done the peppermints, I've done the chocolates. You know what? I even took a picture one time. I don't know if I've done this before, but Willy Wonka creamer, really Willy Wonka chocolate creamer, and so it's actually pretty good. I was intrigued by it because the creamer bottle said that it had a golden ticket, and so you could win creamer for a year or creamer for a lifetime or something like that. And I always found that intriguing, but you know what? I never did look on any of those bottles to see if there was a golden ticket. And so I know there's some Charlie and the Chocolate fans out there that know exactly what I'm talking about with Willy Wonka. And so Those are my go-to creamers. I have been in a crisis where I have not had a creamer in the house. Okay. And then there's been times where there's been creamer in the house, and I'm like, because I told you other people drink coffee with and creamer, and I'm not a fan of some of theirs. They're not a fan of some of mine because, to tell the truth, one of the things I've done lately is for quite a while now is I've gone to the no sugar added in the creamer. So I have quit doing sugar in my cream. Sugar. I quit adding sugar to my cream. I quit adding sugar to my coffee a long time ago. And then I just started doing some creamers, just creamer only. And why is that? Because there's a lot of sugars in creamer. I know you're all aware of that if you do this. And so, uh, I just, excuse me, let me just grab that water. Oh boy, this is so unprofessional. I'm so sorry. And so, get rid of that little tickle there. So, I've gone to the no sugar, and I debated it for a long time. I don't know. It does have a distinctive taste. I have grown to still enjoy my coffee. And a big heads up to a guy. He used to have a band, and his name is the band was called Johnny Come Lately was the band out here in L.A. And just bunch of stories. He's a good friend of mine. Bunch of stories with Johnny Come Lately. The dude gave me a coffee can from Louisiana, man, and it is dark and it is robust. I don't even know what words to put to it, and it is awesome. I'm not hooked because I probably can't afford the coffee, but man, thanks to him for giving it to me. My kids have loved it that have joined in, and so some of the things we do with coffee at our house. Now, the other thing on coffee would be this: are you maybe a powder creamer or a liquid creamer? I have done both. In fact, I do both. Here at the church, we have both liquid and powder, and so man, it's easy to not run out of creamer, and the powder kind of probably lasts a little bit longer. But so are you a powder or a liquid creamer individual? And like I said, I do no sugar in the coffee, and that has not really helped a lot in weight loss, but still no sugar in the coffee. Or let me ask you this: do you go full blown, a lot of creamer to get that flavor, a lot of sugar to get that sweetness, to cut down on the bitterness of coffee or whatever it is? Or hey, let me go even further, because I know there's some tea drinkers out there. And do you put cream in your tea? I've done that, and it is good, especially for me in the morning when we were many years ago in Europe and playing football and stuff like that over in Germany and stuff. And I would put creamer in my tea, and always sugar in the tea. So I did like it sweet for an early morning thing. But what do you do with your teas? And then, are they iced? Are your coffees iced? Are they not iced? Are they, what is going on in your beverage preferences and what you are doing? The girls have their preferences. They can add those into the comments and stuff. I'm just going to say them out loud because this past week there was a coffee creamer crisis in our house, and the only thing that was in the refrigerator was a coconut cream. And boy, I did it for a cup, and then I realized I could drink that one cup, but then I was running down the store to buy me some good creamer. I'm not a coconut fan, and neither am I a coconut cream fan in my creamer. And I was joking with Lauren just this morning because I walked into the living room, and wow, because she likes to add a lot of cream. Man, house smells a lot like coconut, doesn't it? Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever improvised on some things, some of the extremes of your beverages? By improvising, I mean this. Have you ever drank flat pop or soda? I'm a pop fan. And so, but it's got to have the bubbles. And you can really have some bubbles in two beverages, for me at least. It is Canada Dry Ginger Ale or Coca Cola. And so, I can do that and I love it. So I can't stand drinking it flat. I told you about the extremes of coffee creamers. I have had extremes where I've run out of coffee and I sit there and debate, like I didn't clean out the pot from the day before. And man, should I just reuse those coffee grounds that I had in my drip coffee maker? Um, you know what? In extremes, I've tried it. It just doesn't work. Okay, it just doesn't. But I've done those extremes. I've tried everything and to figure out the best ways to enjoy a good cup of coffee. One of the hardest extremes for me, I'll say this, is to drink coffee that costs $10 a cup. I'm exaggerating, but you all know what I'm talking about. Man, to drink extremely expensive coffee, it's hard for me. Why? Because you know me, if you've listened to any of these Hello Again Wednesdays, I'm just cheap. What are some of the improvisations you've done in any of your beverages that you have had? At the beginning of this Hello Again Wednesday, you saw my favorites. In fact, Connie, my wife, she immediately shoved it over to my Facebook page, tagged me in it. Anything that is Snoopy related, Peanuts related, Charles Schultz related, goes to my Facebook page, especially for other people that go, yeah, they all chime in and stuff like that. But it's a statement. You'll see it at the end of this segment. If you missed it at the beginning, it is a statement I have done in the past and about how much water I drink, because that's what coffee's majority is water. So I'm a huge water drinker. Yes, I know I have this one right here. It's rare that I have something like this. I might have a pop or soda, whatever you want to call it. I'll have some other beverage before I will have, quote, water, except every morning I have a ton of water because that's the majority of what my coffee is made of, and your coffee too, or your tea, however you want to look at it. It is the majority of what I drink and what you probably drink in yours. So I'm a huge water drinker. And so I did love that picture. It became a part of my Hello Again Wednesday for today. The kids some things have happened in the house, and the kids have already, hey, Dad, this would be a great segment. So I already have next Wednesday's segment lined up, and it's going to be a fun one also on that one there. Okay, it is. Last week it wasn't. Last week I was super early. This week I'm super late because I'm trying to get the Bible study on Facebook with sound, and I'm struggling. And so, anyways, it's almost 2 p.m. out here on the West Coast. We have our Bible study, and it's down here. You have just this little box area, but it's down in this big old room that we have for our Bible study. It's in person, and it's via Zoom, and I have both those. Well, I unlocked the door, and I do have the Zoom link where you can join in on the conversation of our Bible study as Pastor Mark leads us. We're almost done with the book of Acts, and he's leading us through that, and we're having a good time with that. And who knows, I might try and bump it over to Facebook. I might not. Time has ticked away on me just a little bit, but I might try. But there's ways to check things out. If you cannot be a part of our Bible study, why don't you check out a Bible study near you? Check out a church near you. Go online, check out when their services are and stuff like that, and just kind of hang out with their group. Who knows? They might be having coffee in their group. They might be having tea in their group. You don't have no idea what kind of creamers they might have or sugars they might have. That's one thing we didn't even go to. There's those other sugars, yellow, blue, pink. There's all these other sugars. Or you could go really radical and use brown sugar. Okay. See what's happening in their Bible studies. Or they might even, who knows, have a different beverage than those things that I was talking about. So, what are your beverage stories? Be sure and leave them in the comments. If you're watching me on YouTube, the same thing. Leave them in the comments, and I will always check back to see what's going on within your life. with your beverages that you have. I just want to, besides leaving them for me to read and to share, why don't you make sure you share those stories with your friends and the people that you know? As always, I look forward to seeing you guys again next week on Hello Again Wednesday.